Ashford Manor stood alone, a silhouette against the desolate moor. It was once grand, now crumbling. A history of darkness clung to its walls. Generations whispered of Ashford's curse. Each heir met a tragic end. Accidents, they said. But whispers told a different story. The manor held its secrets close, hidden away from prying eyes. The locals knew to avoid it. Some things are best left undisturbed. The most unsettling rumour? A sealed cellar never opened. What lay within, no one dared to find out. Stories circulated about the cellar, tales whispered by the firelight, each more disturbing than the last. Some said it held the manor's darkest secret, a hidden chamber of horrors. Others spoke of rituals, long forgotten. The cellar, they said, was sealed for a reason, to contain something evil, something that should never be released. But whispers often attract curious ears, and Ashford Manor, despite its ominous aura, was about to have visitors. A group of explorers drawn by the legends. They came seeking answers, unafraid of the whispers, or so they thought. There was Daniel, the historian, captivated by Ashford's past. Emily, the photographer, drawn to the macabre beauty. And then there was Ben, the skeptic. He sought to debunk the myths, to find a logical explanation for the stories. Together, they would uncover the truth. But some truths are best left buried. Ashford Manor awaited its prey. Days turned into weeks as they explored. Every corner of the manor meticulously searched, yet the cellar remained elusive. Frustration grew, threatening to break their resolve, until one day a breakthrough, a faint scratching sound. It led them to a hidden room, concealed behind a tapestry. And there, in the cold stone floor, a trapdoor. The air grew heavy, charged with an unseen energy. They had found it, the sealed cellar of Ashford Manor. Section 5, Into the Jaws of Fear, Descending into the Cellar. The title alone sent shivers down their spines, a prelude to the terror that awaited. A collective breath held as they pried open the trapdoor. The wood groaned in protest, as if warning them of the horrors below. Musty air rushed out, carrying the scent of decay. It was a smell that spoke of years of neglect, of secrets buried and forgotten. Terror mingled with excitement, a heady mix that made their hearts race. A rickety wooden ladder led down into the darkness. Each rung seemed to whisper tales of those who had descended before, never to return. Each step creaked, echoing in the silence. The sound was almost deafening in the stillness, a reminder of the unknown that awaited below. The darkness seemed to swallow the light, making the descent feel endless. Daniel descended first, lantern held high. The flickering flame cast eerie shadows, making the stone walls seem alive. His heart pounded in his chest, each beat louder than the last. The others followed, their shadows dancing on the damp stone walls. The air grew colder with each step, a chill that seeped into their bones. The ladder ended, but the journey had just begun. They stood in the cellar. A damp, earthen floor stretched out before them, uneven and treacherous. The walls seemed to close in, the weight of the earth pressing down on them. The air thick with a palpable sense of dread. Every breath was a struggle, the atmosphere heavy with anticipation. They were not alone. The cellar seemed to hum with a life of its own, a silent witness to the horrors that had unfolded within its walls. The group huddled together, their eyes darting around, searching for any sign of movement. The silence was oppressive, broken only by the occasional drip of water from the ceiling. They knew they had to move forward, but fear rooted them to the spot. The unknown awaited, and they could only hope they were prepared for what they would find. Section 6. A Presence Awakened. The malevolent force stirs. In the depths of the old mansion, a place long forgotten by time, the cellar lay in wait. It was a place shrouded in darkness where the air was thick with an unsettling stillness. A low hum vibrated through the cellar, a sound so subtle yet so pervasive that it seemed to seep into the very bones of the structure. It was as if the walls themselves were alive, resonating with a hidden, malevolent energy. It seemed to emanate from the very walls themselves. Fear tightened its grip on those who dared to enter. The air was thick with an unspoken dread, a palpable sense of foreboding that made every breath feel like a struggle. The lantern light flickered, casting grotesque shapes that danced in the darkness. Shadows twisted and contorted, taking on forms that defied logic and reason. Each flicker of the light seemed to bring the shadows to life, as if they were mocking the intruders. Whispers seemed to coil around them, cold and menacing. They were voices that spoke of ancient secrets and forgotten horrors, voices that seemed to come from the very depths of the earth. Then they saw it. A faint glow in the far corner of the cellar. It was a light that seemed out of place, a beacon in the darkness that drew them in despite their fear. It pulsed with an unnatural light, beckoning them closer. The glow was hypnotic, a siren call that promised answers but also hinted at unimaginable dangers. As they approached, the humming grew louder. It was a sound that seemed to resonate with their very souls, a vibration that shook them to their core. The air crackled with energy. They had awakened something ancient and evil. It was a presence that had lain dormant for centuries, waiting for the right moment to rise again. And now it was awake, its malevolent force stirring once more. Section 7. The darkness consumes. The entity's grip tightens, the glow intensified, revealing a swirling vortex of energy. It pulsed and throbbed, a monstrous heart beating in the darkness. Panic seized them. They tried to flee, but the air grew thick, suffocating. An unseen force held them captive. Daniel cried out, his voice lost in the echoing hum. The entity's power was overwhelming, pulling them towards the vortex. Emily stumbled, her camera clattering to the ground. The lens shattered, reflecting their terrified faces in the eerie light. There was no escape. Section 8, Trapped in Terror, a desperate fight for survival. In the heart of the abandoned mansion, the cellar was a place of nightmares. The walls, covered in grime and cobwebs, seemed to close in on them, suffocating their spirits. Ben, his skepticism shattered, lunged for the ladder. His heart pounded in his chest, each beat a desperate plea for escape. The ladder, old and rusty, was their only hope. But it was no use. The ladder crumbled under his weight, sending him crashing back into the darkness. The cellar seemed to mock their efforts, a cruel reminder of their helplessness. The air itself seemed to resist him, holding him captive. A thick, foggy mist filled the room, making it hard to breathe, hard to think. It was as if the very atmosphere was alive, conspiring against them. Desperation clawed at their throats. Their faces, etched with fear, told the story of their torment. Each breath was a struggle, each moment a battle against the encroaching darkness. They were trapped, at the mercy of an entity beyond their comprehension. Their minds reeled, unable to grasp the full extent of their predicament. The cellar was no longer just a physical space. It was a prison for their souls. The vortex pulsed again, a wave of energy washing over them. It was a force unlike anything they had ever encountered, a malevolent presence that seemed to feed on their fear. It felt cold, draining the warmth from their bodies, their hope. The mist wrapped around them like a shroud, sapping their strength and will to fight. They could feel their energy being leached away, leaving them weak and vulnerable. They huddled together, a small island of fear in a sea of darkness. Their only comfort was the presence of each other, a fragile lifeline in the midst of their terror. They clung to one another, drawing what little strength they could from their shared ordeal. The entity was toying with them, savoring their terror. It loomed over them, a shadowy figure that seemed to grow more powerful with each passing moment. Its presence was a constant reminder of their impending doom, a harbinger of the horrors yet to come. They knew they had to find a way out, but the path to freedom seemed more elusive than ever. Section 9. The Price of Curiosity, the Aftermath. The manor stood silent once more. The moors stretched out, desolate and unforgiving. No trace remained of the explorers. Some say their screams can still be heard, whispered on the wind that howls across the moors, a chilling reminder. The cellar remains sealed, the entity's presence a palpable weight within, the manor guarding its secrets once more. Ashford Manor stands as a warning, a testament to the darkness that lies hidden beneath the surface. Some doors are not meant to be opened.